Almost forgot to do. Right. So we have the vertical line of the face, which is drawn, broken up into quarters. We're kind of just above the hairline, the forehead line here. We're down to the chin. We've got where the quarter mark is, the halfway mark, the 3/4 mark. Can you label that? And then the next thing we're going to do, of course, is this, the line across the middle of the eye line, the middle of the face, from here to about, let's go from here to here. Why am I determining that? Because I actually want to go from the edge of the ear. I want to make sure I get that wide enough. So, and then this is the edge of the face. So what's the next step? Ladies who are doing this exercise, what do I do after this? Now I've defined the middle line. What do I do next?
Start drawing in the shapes, the shape of the eye.
Nope, nope, nope. I do something else. It's very important first.
I'm just kidding.
What do I do next? What do I do before I start drawing in the shape of the eyes? Measure. Measure what?
The width.
The width. Thank you, Diana. The width. So it's very important. You know, somebody just sent me a picture they did of Tesla that they spent a long time drawing, and his face was way too long. And I was kind of like, well, you did a good job, but next time if you measured, your face will be in the right, you know, your face will have the right measurements. So I'm going to check this measurement up here. And it looks to me, I'm just going to double check this. Okay, so that's like 8. Yep. So the width of him from here to here is almost exactly 3/4 up the face. So I know that the width of him from here to here will be the same. Wait. Let's get this out of the way. So I can go to my 3/4 mark, my 1/4 mark, and then come here. And make that distance the same. Now, do I know I have this distance absolutely correct? At this point, I don't. I'm going to put it in, and then I'm going to fiddle with that. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to look at the eye width. So I've got the eye that is absolutely the biggest eye, the one that we're looking at most, that's closest to us. That's this one. I'm going to look and see how many eyes it is. 1, 2, 3. It's basically 1, 2. It's basically one eye width, a little bit more from here to the edge. And then, so it's, let's see if I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, it's 5 eye widths. So it's 2 eye widths this way. And then it's 2 eye widths this way. So I know that if I divide this into 5 equal sections, so that's 18 centimeters, or what is it in inches? Maybe that'll be an easier thing. Yeah. You can break out your ruler and do it this way, or you can just sort of guess like I'm doing. But you could divide this into 5 equal sections, and then that will tell you whether you've got your line in the right place here. So if I were to do that, let's see, 18 divided by 5 is like 5.3. No.
3.6.
3.6, thank you. Yes. So I could just do this. So here is where my eye is. All right. Ah, look, I'm about right. So I know that this length from here to here in my case will be 1/5 of the distance across the whole thing. And I know that the eye will go on this side as well as some of the face. I also know that this eye is here. So that eye is here. This eye is smaller. And there. Look at, oh my God, if you want to know like my people, look at the upper, look at the width of that. If you look at his face closely, you'll see, I'll show it to you when we start doing his eyes. When you look at his face, you're going to see how deep that upper lid line sits back up from the upper eyelash line. That is a very Eastern European in my view. Those are my people. my God, I can totally recognize it from the eye shape, from the upper eyelid shape. It's fascinating. So we've got the eyes here. He is looking at us this way. So the iris is kind of to the left. Right? And then we know that the nose is down here. Right? We know that the nose, as usual, lines up. The edge of the nose lines up with the right corner of the eye. As I'm coming down, the edge of the nose kind of comes here. So guys, I've been noticing that some of you are making your noses way too small. Make this the session that you don't. Let's do this. I got a big bulby nose. And then I'm going to split this last quarter in half. And once again, almost like always, pretty much like, is that right? Is that true? Like always? Yeah, like always, his mouth is at the halfway, the bottom of his mouth is at the halfway point of that last quarter. So I can put that here. You can't really see the top of his mouth, probably about here. It's about there. And then it's funny, you can already kind of see him, isn't it, with this kind of gnomish look. Oh, wait, I see it's kind of hard for you guys to see. Let me turn my light. Why is it so? There we go. That's much better. Okay. So you can see the sort of gnomey shape of his face, of his eyes. He's got very thin lips. And as usual, like with everything else, the edge of his mouth lines up, that middle line of his mouth, right? That dark line kind of lines up with his irises. So we can bring the mouth kind of roughly to here. Yeah. Now this might have to come in just a little bit, but maybe it comes in more on this side. We know we're going to need to fiddle with these, but it's all going to be in this realm. That's why I like these. Interesting. Yep. When we get to features, I will put up the main face. Once we get the sort of, as we know, I think it's easy enough to look at this, just do the structure. So let me know when you're done, and then we'll go on. And you've got these brown lines. So I used to teach face drawing totally differently. I used to teach it where you had to sort of draw the circle of the head like this. And then you did this, and then you kind of carved in the face. I have since found, and then on the side, you did a kind of thing like this, like that. Right? I have since found that that did not help people. It was really hard for people to visualize. I have found it's been much easier to teach face drawing by setting up this grid first before to get kind of the basic shapes right. and get a certain amount of features in line. And really notice, you guys, how little the space is that the features really take up in the face. Notice that everything is halfway down. There's nothing that's up here in this upper half of the face except for the eyebrows and some forehead and hair. So notice this sort of compact area in which we focus all of our attention. It's kind of fascinating. Sorry, just trying to, whoops, did I blow that? Trying to reposition this. There we go. Not meaning to make you dizzy. I just want you to get a better view. That's a little bit better. Okay. So once we have that, we're going to start with the inner hairline on the top of the face. So if you notice, it's a little bit it's like 2/3 of the way. You're to divide this into 2/3. This is where the forehead kind of stops and the hairline starts. I mean, I can guess here, 1, 2, 3. Yep. If you need to measure, you will find if you do this after a while that you get a lot better at assessing how big or small things are. And then I can see that here, right where eye number 2 is, the first eye to the right here, is kind of where that hairline starts. So I'm going to draw that line up and then over. Maybe a little in front. Up, over. I may adjust this as I go along. I usually figure out once I get the eyebrows in, do I have the hairline in the right place? Often, particularly with older men, hairlines recede a lot. And then here, straight line, and then a straight line down. So be careful, this side of the face is really small. Don't make it too big. You guys are so totally ready for watercolor after this. I promised you.
I'm holding you to it.
Yep, hold me to it. If I do this again, you get to definitely fight me on it. I know this is the point where the face looks really, really weird. It kind of comes in at an angle and then comes down like that. It's really kind of slightly diagonally down. There's a poof out on his chin here, but I'm not going for that yet. I'm going to add that in later. But there is this kind of very direct sort of shift. And then the bottom of his chin is square. And then this is a little tricky because it's sort of hard to see. Let's see. I'm guessing. Yep. Maybe it's down further. It's a little hard to see. What's great about that is we don't have to get too specific because if we can't see it, we don't have to draw it. But on this side, kind of jaw goes down to kind of between the nose and the mouth. So there's like this straight line here. And then it really goes at an angle towards the face. So once again, they'll probably be adjusting. And then right here is where his neck is. It's a little hard to see. When I put up the picture, you'll be able to see. And then his ear. And then his ear is really there. It's that last eye. And then the other part of his neck is down here. There's a little light area. The rest of it is dark. He looks really young right now. Gonna have to work on that. And then there's the hairline. So I don't want to see any straggly stuff, please. We're just doing an outer shape right now. You could deal with texture later. So that kind of comes up over here. His hair kind of comes up there. Wow, I have to keep scooting this guy over. Here we go. Kind of comes up, comes over, and then right at about the eye. Yeah. So I know it looks silly, but we got to get these shapes first before we can remotely begin to start adding texture. We got to get the looks like that comes in right under the ear, actually. And then the last thing I'm going to do is a set of measurements. I'm going to take my eye and I'm going to measure on the source. Like, how many eye lengths is it across to the cheek? It looks like it's about 2. Oh, I need to bring this in. That looks a little bit more like him. And how many eye lengths from this side of his nose? It's not even a full eye length. It's about 2/3 of an eye length. So I know if his face comes out any further than like about 2/3 of an eye length from his nose, but that's too wide. I may want to bring this out a little bit. All right, so shall I take a picture of this, put up the photo, and have you guys work on this for a little while?
Okay.
Yeah, let me do, I have him up here. So here is he. Here is he. His nose is gonna need to come in a little bit. Oh, yes, hold on. I'm going to take a picture of this, my sketch. Then I'm going to take a picture close up of the face and the measurements. Yeah, that is kind of, it's interesting. He doesn't look like a person who has a lot of, who has a narrow face, but the actual face part of him is narrower than it looks. So that's that. And there's that. Oh my God, Janet, did you see Bree's latest photo shoot?
No.
She just, she is insane. What did take a look on Breathing with Bree on Instagram. It's actually, it's absolutely extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. Does anybody want to text me while we're at it, since I've got my phone down?
Hello?
Please feel free to text over if you're working on anything you want me to take a look at. It can be Einstein or it can be whatever you're working on, whatever you're drawing.
Tesla.
You can send over Tesla. All right.
Working on his shadow.
It's terrible
So-
right now, but at least you can tell who it is.
That's fast, Jean. Wow. All right, so yeah, the biggest problem you've got here, and I really want you to get this. This is one half of his face. It's one eye wide from the edge to from the middle of the face to here. It's just one eye, right?
Sorry, I can't. Sorry,
Oh,
hold
sorry.
on.
From here, sorry. From here to here is just one eye wide. You have him like two. You have these things like absolutely. So 1, 2, 3.
Right, I just have more.
Yeah, this.
Well, I have more feet on the other side of his right eye, our left.
Yeah. Wow. 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 You might try just to structure it again, but but there's something I really like about this. It's real fast. Also, you've got way more hair here than you need. Look at the shape.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. But the
I
main
was just
thing,
that to get the shape of the face.
but you know, Jean, that's pretty impressive. I have to say.
Like I said, you can tell who he is.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. That was like super fast. Okay, Diana, I think that color is not the, I can't believe I'm telling you this because I never tell you this, but I don't think
No,
that.
but I'm painting over the blue. I'm painting over
Okay,
the blue.
yeah, it needs to be darker. It needs
Yeah,
to
it
be
doesn't
much
work.
darker.
Yeah. No, it doesn't work. That's
It's too light. And you know me, I never tell you that because I never have to. But yeah, yeah. I really like that, Jean. I don't know, there's something about that I really, really, really love.
He's kind of a caricature.
He is. And how long did you do that? In like 5 or 10 minutes? Yeah, so it just the side of him. So this is longer, but I love how you got his nose and his mustache and his mouth. He's also way too dark on this part. You have to really lighten him up here. So you need to like, and I like how you
Well,
got
that's
the
the
dark.
problem when you start with all dark, like I did.
Oh yeah. So just erase. So just start erasing and darkening and pulling in. So pull in here, erase here, add the lights in, and let's see where we go from there. That's interesting. Very interesting. His jacket is also a little too narrow. So you need to bring that up a little bit. But other than that, I don't know. I keep wanting to correct it, and then I like look at it and I kind of like it exactly the way it is. Lana, are you going to send me something before we go on?
You didn't know you were teaching a caricature class.
You have to say I caught his personality.
Jean, actually, this is one of the best drawings you've ever done. I mean, honestly, yeah. I'm not like, even though I can, I'm gonna like, you basically got everything's in the right places, and it was really fast. It's like 40 minutes into class. All right, so I'm gonna go on and talk a little bit about structure of eyes, structure of eyebrows very quickly, and then we will stop, and then I'll put the thing back up. So let me stop the share for just a minute. Review this. Oh, that was a terrible. Here, wait, no, Zoom. Let me get back to Zoom so I can get off that awful view of myself. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, So now we've got the eyes. So let me do his eye big to remind you about the feature of eyes and see why I got so excited about the shape of his eye. In fact, I'm going to move this so that I can see better. So in a big way, the shape of his eye on this side, our left, as usual, kind of goes up and down, right? Fairly curved. You can see that light lid at the base. And then because his eye is turned this way, there's really no white on the left side, right? Only on the right side. So we've got that happening. And then here's the tear duct, the white rim, all of that. But look at the depth of his, I'm just like, so this is exactly like me. When I look at myself in the mirror, this is what I see. That's why I'm like, oh my God, like this little weirdo from Eastern Europe is just like, he looks just like me. Yes. The upper eyelid goes up like this and then kind of comes down like that. There's actually a break in the line. I don't know if you can see that. You'll be able to see it better. And then between here, so there's that shape, and then there's this light. That's the skin shape over it. So then this comes over it. Right, that's a skin shape around the upper eyelid. And then of course the eyebrow sits on top of that and it kind of stops, it goes here. And then it's just sort of dark. Here. It's upper eyebrow and some shadow. It's a little hard to tell kind of where the eyebrow ends and that begins. And then of course there's that dark line here. There are the two white spots that we're going to preserve. And then it's dark around the white spots. A little bit darker around the edge, darker in the middle, and then a little lighter around the base of the eye. Look at that. Look at how that really starts to come together. It's slightly shaded here. We can't really see his eyelashes. It's just a little bit darker here. So that's the eye. And then the nose, yeah, Jean, you kind of picked right up on that nose shape. It is, I'm gonna see if I can sketch it in here. This is the sort of outer shape, right? So it's like straight up. I think it's up a little higher than I have it. And then there's that kind of bulbous part that comes down. So fox or pig?
Fox.
Fox, yep. Fox. And then probably on this side, you can bring that nose line in. And notice how dark it is down here, except for that one. Notice that one sort of area in here, square in here, is really dark, sort of at the base of his nose. And then it's light on this side. What I've liked about these professionally lit portraits is how much they show the strong darks. And there's not like just one dark here. I mean, right here, you know, it's a little bit lighter. And then of course there is, as Jean has identified so well, that light area that kind of goes like this in the nose. So that can be brought in with your eraser. And then it's dark. on this side, and it's pretty dark. I noticed that darkness actually just carries up. So if I were to get, once I get the eye in here on the small side, get that upper lid line in, down. There's this kind of dark edge that actually comes up, and it comes right into the nose line. Up here. He's actually got these kind of scruffy eyebrows. And then there's wonderful sort of dark crevices happening under his eyes. Funny, I just went from doing his eye to doing his nose, but that's like what happens when you're when you've got when you're working on shapes and you're not thinking about the thing, you're just like looking at the shapes. These shapes are all connected. And who would have got it? Einstein has cute ears. Very cute if you look at them closely enough. So if you want, I will, let me just do the one or two more reminders for the mouth. Remember, the upper lip line is very dark. Remember that this side of the mouth is much narrower than the other side of the mouth, right? And then of course you've got all this mustache hair to go with. Which is partly light and partly dark. And then you've got this sort of very dramatic dark shades on the side of his face. Don't forget to put those in. Down here. All right, let me put up the source, and then you can, if you want to, I will have small. I'll still be working, but you guys can just work from the photo. But if you want help or you want to see where things are going, you can come and look at where I'm working on my drawing.
Hey, Leah,
Yeah,
do you ever oil out?
do I what?
oil out when you're painting?
What do you mean?
So Ricky went over this one day, and then I was looking at some videos on YouTube the other day. Like if you let so you never do it because you never let paintings sit, you just finish them. But like if you've let a painting sit for a really long time and then you want to go back and work an area, you can apply a mixture of linseed oil and like Galkid to kind of like you know how the pigment will sink in
Yes.
and get kind of matte.
Yeah.
It's supposed to like help bring that back to life, and also to like oil to like make the paint in that area you're working on more workable and not dry anymore.
So that's what oil out means?
Yeah, but I'm afraid. And then I also saw a few artists talk about how they do that to every painting when they're done to like even, how you get like those weird patches on an oil painting?
Yeah, I always just varnish it to get rid of those.
One guy was saying that like a lot of people do that, but that he feels like it's good to take this extra step because it gives the paint what it's crying out for, like that's why. So I just thought that was interesting, and I was wondering if you'd ever done it.
I had never done it, and not only have I never done it, I never even heard of it. I'm fascinated. I'll take a look. But I'm self-taught, so there's a lot I don't know. I am like willing to, particularly technique like that.
But I was thinking that like this painting has been sitting for so long, and I'm actually struggling right now because of that. And I was thinking, I bet I should have oiled up this pillow.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But I lost my notebook from all the class, the beginning class.
Just use Galkid, Janet. Just use Galkid. Just use Galkid Light. You'll be able to get back to. Yeah. I mean, or use linseed oil if you want to.
Well, these people were saying to do like half and half.
Okay. That's not a bad thing to do. I think I used to do that actually, to tell you the truth. I think I used to do more of that. So that's not what I called it, but I definitely.
Well, I had never heard that term until he brought it up one day in class, and then I thought about it when I got this painting out.
Are you cheating on Leah by taking another class? Does she know that?
Yes, she makes me jealous all the time. Hi, Reg.
Hello.
I was just telling everybody about your amazing self-portrait. Would you mind if I shared it? Could I send it across the thread?
Sure.
We're painting Einstein here, so everybody's
I can see
that
that.
along here. This is just, you guys, I just love this. And also check out Jean's Einstein, which she did in like 30 minutes. It's very expressive and really cool. But hold on.
Well, I've now been working on it for another 20 minutes and I don't think it looks any better. But.
Isn't that funny? Sometimes you just get it and you should just leave it, right? Like sometimes it's like, why do I even mess with this? I should have left it at where it is.
I've kind of lost his personality, but I got the tired eyes better. But
good. All right. Well, just keep working on it. All right. Hold on. Let me find it. He texted it to me. Oh, I just love this portrait so much.
Jessica says hello to everyone. She had her eye lasered today.
Who's that? Oh, right. Because she has cataracts or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know. She's got so many problems with that eye.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's not good for an artist.
No.
Oh. There we go. Look at this, you guys. I love this. Oh, wait. Isn't that amazing?
I haven't seen it.
Take a look.
Oh,
I
there-
just sent it.
Did you WhatsApp this? What did
Yes,
you
I
do?
did. I WhatsApped it.
I'm
Hold on. I
not
need
on
to
your
add
WhatsApp
you.
group.
I need to
I'm
add
not on
you
this
to
group.
WhatsApp. Hold on. Let me get you there.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it
It
is.
looks just like, it's just like him. But not is it just like him. There's a life to it. Like I don't know. Anyway, I was really
Like I'm
thrilled.
normally not alive?
Can
Is
do
that what
this
you're
one.
saying?
Yeah, that's right. How did you make yourself look alive, Reg?
I know, it's really tough. I have no idea.
You actually gave yourself a personality.
I try not to. You know how it is.
Look, there you go, Reg. Check that out. And then
Reg,
here is,
did you do it from a photo or from the mirror?
No, photo. I need to learn how to do more life portraits. I'm still
Yeah,
working
from
just
life.
off photos.
yep.
More fun. It's much more fun to do them live.
It
Yeah,
is.
I'm
It is.
sure.
There's no.
Yeah.
So I was telling Reg, he just has to camp out at Marianne's one weekend, and they split the cost of a model. And then Reg was like, "Split the cost of a model? Well, shit, we could just draw each other."
It's cheaper.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
So,
That's exactly.
so Leah, I
Yeah.
changed the side color there. I don't think the blues or greens are right for this face. So
Maybe purple.
I did it like red purple.
Let me
Because I
take a
don't
look.
want it to be too dark. I sent it over.
Where is it?
Because
Oh, yeah.
it's so-
So now it's like pinks.
yeah. Well, purple pinks, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's totally fine. I think you know what you want to do with this. Yeah, I think that's good. I like it. It just needed a little bit more definition.
Yeah.
And you see how already he's starting to kind of, now it's funny, I'm looking at my sketch because I have mine up too, and I'm going, oh yeah. I think that just gave him the little edge
Yeah.
he needed. It's really good, Diana. It's good. I don't know how much more I would mess with this actually, because I kind of like the simplicity. It's fairly elegant right now.
All right. I can go on to something else.
Go on to something else.
Yeah. All
I
right.
really
we
like
may
Jean's Einstein is great.
Isn't that
It's
great?
got that whole kind of
So much fun.
pop art, vibe to it.
Isn't that awesome? I know. And she did it in like 15 or 20 minutes. Like she did it as I was like just getting the structure of the face up.
I
It's
think that
really.
I'm going to go on to my Jack Johnson, I think.
Okay, great. So how's the day? How'd the day go for everybody?
Don't ask.
Yeah, okay. I will not ask. It's better now, right?
Well, I have a glass of wine.
Yep, and you have a pencil and a charcoal in your hand, you're fine.
Yeah.
I feel you though. If it makes you feel better, Reg, I was just telling these girls on the way over, there are flames basically licking the side of the road about 20 miles from Portland.
Ouch.
So we're all like, ah. Hey, Janet, can you send me a picture of Katie right now, the painting?
I will in a bit.
Okay.
I'm too busy cursing my color mixing at the moment.
But can I help? Is there any way I can help? Honestly. Yeah, I think, Jean, the best way to do his hair is to darken it and then all around and then erase out. You're right. This might have been better as its own photograph. Anyway, Jen, let me know if I can jump in and help. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
I'm imagining trying to watercolor this face. So my eraser is really dirty. Oh, there we go. I have to tell you guys, it's been really fun working with you on portraits this time. I've really enjoyed the practice.
What are you moving on to next? Yeah.
I was thinking watercolor.
What are you doing next?
Watercolor.
Yeah. Okay.
Although anybody can stick with anything they want to, and I'll continue to help out. But I think this group has really, so probably probably a still life subject first to get the technique down, and then we'll maybe move on to some other subjects. We might decide to try faces in watercolor. To be honest with you, I have never taught that. So I have no idea how it would go, but I'm sure we'd figure it out.
Probably not well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like I think, you know, that's what I was going to be teaching back in April, in the alternate universe in which none of this shit ever happened. So like, I'm like, I figure we should get back to that. I used to think it would be harder to teach watercolor, but since then, of course, I've been teaching it a lot. So I would say that's what we'll do next. But anybody can do whatever they want. You know, Janet's working on her paintings. Diana is working on paintings. She sometimes jumps in when she wants to, when she likes the subject or wants to practice.
I enjoy to do lessons too.
Right? Yeah, sometimes, you know, like sometimes, but you're busy. You've got stuff you want to do. So it's good to have, anyway. I just want to give you keys so that you can learn to do things. I just want you guys to have the keys to the castle so that you can do everything that
you want to do charcoal, and now you're the king of charcoal.
Hmm?
Remember when you didn't want to do charcoal, and now you're so good
Yeah,
at it?
yeah.
I'm doing a set of classes for an organization called the Portland Artist Guild. They're just getting into this whole concept of doing classes online, and they're like, can you do that? I don't know if you've got the technology. And I'm like, can I do that? You have no idea. I invented this. And they were like, give us a bio on, they're like, well, so how do you teach? And I'm like, and God, I'm sorry, I've completely lost the train of thought on that. Sorry, guys. I have a story, a point to that, and it's gone.
Because you're the goddess of teaching online.
Because I'm the goddess of right. In any event, but a pretty much a
I was
complete,
trying to catch up with you.
but pretty much a complete idiot at doing anything else. So, oh my God.
So Leah, I just sent you my Jack Johnson. Can
All
you
right.
take a look on
Yeah, absolutely.
see if you have
Take
any?
a look. Wow, that was incredible, though. That thread just went away like it had never been. Let me take a look. Oh, hey,
Yes.
Jack, that's looking great. And yes, you guys, he is that muscly. See, yes, Is he bulging out like that on that left up sort of middle bicep?
Yeah, he is.
All righty then. So I think the thing I would do now before I did anything else is I would get the background sorted.
Yeah, that's what I asked about.
Oh, you did? Okay, sorry. All right. So, all right. So the question is, what background? Do you have thoughts? Is anything coming to you?
No, I mean, I did the red because I wanted to be a little bit of contrast.
Yep.
But
Because it's funny. I was wondering about a sea greenish, a sort of soft gray green.
yeah, maybe I'll try that.
Yeah,
I'll
try that. So maybe mix.
Doesn't work. This
Yeah. So maybe mix a little bit of mix like a green with some white.
I don't
also
have
a
any
touch.
greens. I mix my green, so I don't.
Oh, right. So make yourself a green. And then, so once you have the green, add a little bit of red to the green.
Okay.
And then white to the green. So you have a kind of soft, sea foamy.
Okay.
Do you know what color his eyes are? Are they brown?
Brown.
Neat if they were green.
Yeah, no, they know.
That's a really great example. I love, this is a really great example of a painting that is like, you may not need to do anything else to it once you add the background. There might just be one or two more lines. That's like how.
Yeah, I need to work a little bit on the 1 year and.
Yeah, a little bit, but not so much, right? You'll find that like it's really just about background.
Yeah, but the background does not work as it is. So. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
try.
try it and see how it works.
Mm-hmm.
I love all these lines on Einstein's face. What an epic face.
He's cool.
It's amazing how one line can throw everything off.
Or lock everything in.
Yeah.
You got it like that. I can throw it off, I can lock it in. So I don't know if you guys know this, but right now there's a bunch of people around here claiming that there are some false websites claiming that like rioters started the wildfires.
I thought it was a gender reveal party that started.
That was in
Well,
California.
that definitely happened, and that was in California. No, they're basically saying it's a bunch of like farmers saying things like, oh, no, guys, really, somebody came on my property, and when I yelled, they didn't stop, and they left accelerant there. That just total like made up bullshit. And yes, the protesters went out to the middle of nowhere to start forest fires in Oregon. That's what happened.
Yeah, but can we get over that? This is the second time a gender reveal party started a wildfire in California.
Oh, geez.
It was the same thing last year. It happened.
I've never heard of a gender reveal party till I moved to this
It's only been
country.
around for a few years.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Woman started it. It's like such a stupid fucking idea. And don't we have more advanced ideas about what gender is now anyway?
Yeah, I thought like, yeah, how about the kid doesn't,
Come on, people.
you could really wreck a kid. That's like totally true.
And can you imagine this poor kid? Oh, your gender reveal party killed 250 people and destroyed 2 million acres.
Hey, we can beat that. We had a 15-year-old 2 years ago toss firecrackers into a gorge that started a wildfire that here in Oregon. that started a wildfire that was really, really damaging. And he was actually sentenced in court to $2 million fine.
Well, they say they make these people pay all the costs of the firefighting, which would be millions.
Yep.
Of course,
So he was charged it, and then which of course he's not going to pay. But everyone was like, who is that little asshole who's trying to
At least a kid, you go, okay, a kid, but
he's an asshole.
People
Yeah, you're right. Good point.
who should not be parents if they can't figure this out.
If only, Jean, if only.
Right.
This is why I don't live near forests. This is why I live in heavily built up urban areas that have no plants. I'll never be at risk.
Of a forest, yeah, that's the one thing you're not going to be at risk.
Manhattan and forest fires? I don't think so.
Yeah. We may die. Reg, we may die if a chunk of cement lands on our head, but not a forest fire.
That's true.
Yeah, don't forget scaffolding crashes.
There is
that's
those
true.
too.
That's one of my phobias.
A scaffolding crash?
Yeah. I hate
Janet, have you talked to anyone about that?
you, Reg. I've talked to you.
Okay. Well, I'm not a trained professional, but I can charge you $150 an hour if you'd like.
5 cents,
But I'd
5 cents,
be
please.
out of network.
I just wants to make you aware that there's peer-to-peer counseling available.
Out of network.
I just sent a new version of
Let's see.
Einstein.
That's great, Jean. This might be one of my favorite drawings you've ever done. Maybe, so what I found, and you can continue to do this, is up here. So he's a little, you have him a little low here. So I would go in with your dark and really darken, but up. So you have it down here a little bit more. Come up.
He's a little too grotto and not enough grandma.
Yeah. And that's a little tough, but, and sometimes you can just use a regular pencil eraser to get like a different texture, right? Like one that you haven't used before. So this is, anyway. Pull up the hair on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's really good.
All right. Leah, I'm going to send you what I'm working on, which is
Let's
the
see.
daughter of a friend, like the 8-year-old daughter of a friend.
Wow, look what a little cutie pants.
You're a professional now, Reg.
Yeah, you're a pro. He's a secret pro
We're getting all
artist.
these commissions to do.
Can you send me the photo, Reg?
Sure.
Boy, that's good, because that's a tough angle to get.
It's really hard to get kids, too. 'cause
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
'cause
put shadow
kids-
on their faces. Then
Well, you can, but like it's got to be lighter, more subtle, right? Also, their facial proportions are different than ours.
Yeah, I know they're like completely out of whack.
Yeah, because they haven't grown up. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, you can still, she's pretty heavily shadowed.
Yes,
Right, so
she is.
hang on. I'm just looking. I feel like there's a slight, okay. So can I point to Einstein and show you what I'm talking about?
Sure.
There's a slight, you can bring in her hairline a little bit up here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, yeah,
a
I got
slight
that.
touch higher, just a slight touch higher. And that will get the absolute shape. It's just a slight and up and over.
Okay, got it. And the
Um,
jawline's a little off, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at that now.
No?
I think her lips are a little bit too big. So,
Which is too big?
her lips are a little bit too big.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah,
pulled.
right. And so what I would say is, so remember, darken, her upper lip is thinner and it's much darker. So her upper lip is really dark.
Mhm.
Lower lip is light. Let me look at it upside down. That'll really help me.
Oh.
Yeah, bring up her forehead just a touch. Bring in the hairline just a little bit. And if you nip in, yeah, so, and just sort of, so I would make her upper lip thinner, and then make her, and then erase the bottom edge of her lower lip and bring it up just a touch. And then you've got it.
Okay.
And then you got it. Yep.
It's very funny, but what I do now is I sketch in pencil. I know it's cheating. I sketch in pencil, and then I outline in crayon. Then I erase everything and I start again, and then I keep doing that until it's always something wrong until I get it to a point where it's okay. Then I look at it through my phone camera, and then I realize that something is completely wrong, and I start all over again.
Right.
But it's really interesting when you look at it through the phone lens. Really gives you a completely different perspective.
It's because it's a flatter plane, right? So it helps us. It helps us translate. So number one, it's a simplified version of the image that we're looking at. And number two, so it's not our eye, right? It's not as the camera lens is not as complex as our eye. So it flattened things a little bit, which can be really helpful when you're translating to 2 dimensions. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to say, Reg, is the very top of her head.
Yeah.
That's very light, her hair sort of up here. So make sure you get that lightness in. That will help even in the sort of hair that's kind of coming off her forehead. It's almost as light. There's almost a lost edge there. It's not quite, but there's almost a lost edge there, meaning that it's, so I'd bring that, I see you have it, but I'd bring it up a little.
Okay.
Light, lightness. And it's also on the top of her head on the left side too. So bring that lightness in. Yeah, and I mean, it's also just practicing, right? Like doing the face in your medium that you like to learn the pitfalls of the face, and then you do it again, and then you know it, and then that is a very legit way of working. All ways of working are legit, but that is a particularly sound way of working if you want to be problem solving. How's that?
Yeah, I'll take that as a completely made up justification for my way of working.
I like that. No, I think it's valid. I think a lot of artists work that way, actually. Sketching stuff.
By the way, just a note to anybody in New York, the Met is open.
Oh, wow.
Timed entries. I went in this weekend. That was really fun.
Wow, Janet.
Yeah, you have to get an advance reservation.
Yeah, you just go online and you book it.
You didn't feel like it was crowded?
Well, so here's the trick. We had a 11 a.m., which is about as early as I'm going to get there on a Sunday. And it was moderate. It wasn't crowded. You didn't feel like there are a lot of crowds. You had to stand back from a few exhibits every now and then because there'd be someone who was taking too damn long looking at it. But it was fine. And then at about 1 o'clock, we left, and there was a line. So
go early.
You're gonna book it for you know what happens, right? 9 a.m. people stay till all day because they want to get full value for their $20, right? So get in and get that. Now as well, although I haven't checked that.
Natural History Museum opened this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the museums are starting to open.
I went to museum on Monday. I mean, so it's one room, and so much I've seen 90% of the exhibits. So you just see but it's free right now, so that's also good.
You ever go to the Morgan Library?
Oh,
it's fantastic, and they have great drawings too.
Yeah, they get great.
You guys are making me really jealous.
Did you see the Sargent exhibit they had there last year?
No, I haven't been. But have you been? You go to the Frick often?
I hardly ever go to the Frick.
That's my
Frick
favorite.
has got fantastic Rembrandts and
I like the Sargent.
Grecos.
I can just sit in that room with the 4 big sergeants forever.
I love
Why
singing.
does the Frick have such a great collection? Is that a private collection?
Because
or what?
Rick was
Yeah.
a really rich man.
Right,
Yeah, it was just like
Right.
a rich asshole that just collected lots and lots of art.
right.
That's how it works.
That's it, and particularly in America, that's how it has always worked. Like the French are still really pissed that Americans have so many impressionist works,
Yes.
right? But that, because the French didn't buy or value those, and Americans did. So like Gertrude Stein and all her friends basically came
yeah.
to Paris and bought up all and so it's in private collections all over the country,
Mm-hmm.
right? As opposed,
Yeah,
like
well,
you'll find
Now the,
wonderful, huh?
now the Chinese have everything, all the good
Well, that's
contemporary.
true too.
Yeah, but they're paying a lot. They didn't get to collect it. Oh, the good contemporary art? That's an interesting question.
They're buying everything that's new now.
Yeah, that's true. You're right, with that idea in mind.
There was a great exhibit a couple of years ago at the Met about the Steins Collect, which is, Gertrude Stein's collection and her brother's, I think, collection.
Uh-huh.
It was great because they built a replica of her apartment.
Oh,
And
man.
you could see, and they didn't have the real painting, so they just projected it on a wall, right? But you could see like every square inch of every wall was
Wow.
just filled with paintings.
That's like that couple that has collected all the contemporary art in New York. The one who has the little tiny apartment, and they have all those. You know that there's a documentary made of them. They're like the Rosensteins or something. There's a documentary made about this couple that owns every contemporary artist, like famous contemporary artist work. And he's like, and they're not rich. And they live in this tiny apartment.
Oh, yes.
What is it called? What is it?
He was like a postal worker or something.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And it's
bought art.
I'm going to pop off this thing for a second. I'm going to look that up because the documentary is fascinating. Like every artist basically of note in the 20th century sold them a painting for a song.
They were supporting artists before artists knew they were, before they were famous.
Right.
They
Chuck
just-
Close is a big one who they supported really heavily. I mean, it's just crazy to imagine having a Chuck Close now.
Oh, yeah, that's so much fun.
Right? Here, I'm going to look up the name of that documentary because it is absolutely it's fascinating. It is like fascinating to see these people.
I was at a dinner many years ago on Fifth Avenue with a very rich Filipino married to a very rich American, and you wander into the apartment. And you stand around, you're having your drink, waiting for a Thanksgiving dinner, and then you realize that you're standing next to a Calder, and then you go to the other room, and there's like a wall of Warhols, and you're thinking there's a lot of money in this room, and it turns out that that's actually not the collection. The collection is upstate.
Wow. That's
their
just the
cheap
ones
stuff
they
buy.
like to have around.
Something like that. Yeah,
Oh,
they have a
for
whole
God's
house
sakes.
upstate that's it's got all the art. I just sort of think, if you spill something by accident at dinner, I don't know what you do.
No throwing a martini in someone's face. It might land on a,
Exactly.
Herbert Vogel is the postal clerk who died. Well, he was 89, but he and his wife, and they donated.
They left it to the Met, didn't they, or something?
Yeah, a bunch to the Met. Once described as proletarian art collectors. Wait,
I didn't realize you made so much money as a postal worker.
Yeah, well, they were. So Herb and Dorothy is the name of the documentary. Herb and Dorothy, and it is like your jaw will be hanging out. You'll be like just watch. It's riveting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's actually two. So there's a Japanese guy who has made, a Japanese woman who has made this documentary, and it's fascinating. How a working class couple amassed a priceless art collection.
Wow.
He never earned more than $23,000 a year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. He spent nearly 50 years living in a 450 square foot, one bedroom apartment with his wife, who was a reference librarian and at the public library. They didn't travel, they ate TV dinners, and they loved art. So no one knew this. Richard Tuttle, Donald Judd, Chuck Close, Roy Lichtenstein, Andy Goldsworthy.
Before they were famous, I guess, right? I mean, he got
They
them
weren't.
early.
They were, yeah, before they were, yes.
starting.
Yeah, before they were famous.
Yeah.
But then after a while, even famous artists wanted to be collected by Herb and Dorothy. They were kind of the, like who's the woman?
Gertrude Stein.
Yeah, they were the Gertrude Stein of the
Proletariat
New York.
version.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. And I bet he died at 89, and I bet he felt like he had I bet you he felt like he had a great life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sounds like he did.
Yeah. I feel like art is like art and pets are the difference between a good life and a great life.
Yeah. I agree.
Children, I'm like, meh. Children, I think, are way more complicated, but like pets and art, you've got pets and art, you're doing all right.
I agree with that.
Do you have kids, Rich?
Are you insulting, Reg, are you insulting your children or your art collection?
There's a reason he went to boarding school. And I have no pets now, so there you go.
Uh-huh.
I just think children are complicated. They can cause you as much pain as
You
Not
think?
joy.
You think?
Children?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I know you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. Angel children all, but pets are less complicated. I mean, you miss them when they die. You miss the pets when they die, but it's pretty uncomplicated situation. All right.
I sent you
Let me see. How do you like it?
green background, and it works much.
Oh, I like it. I like it. It's kind of this pearly, yes, it's this kind of pearly color. I like it. By the way, Janet, pearly color, it's perfect. That's perfect. And having little bits of red peeking through is totally fine, and little bits of white. That really, because the contrast in his skin tones is so dramatic, to have that sort of soft, light background really, I think, pushes.
Yeah, it worked much better.
Yeah, wonderful. Janet, this painting is the shit.
I'm trying to get this goddamn pillow.
You've just glaze it with the blue, run over it with a paper towel.
It's okay, I just worked on it.
Yes, the shape is great. So now just,
Well,
honestly.
I have to put her hair in first.
Oh, right.
Can I do that before I glaze or not?
Yeah, no, glaze now. Well, no, put her hair in first. Then you can glaze the pillow to get.
Then I'm trying to decide what color to make her hair.
Please don't touch her legs or that hand, or the blanket or the dress. I love how the hand.
I'm not going to do a lot to the legs, but there are some holes that I want to fix.
Just a couple. Don't muck with it. It's really brilliant right now. Don't overdo it because you could lose something.
No, I won't. But I just want to There's a couple spots that look a little carved out, and I want to work. So I have. Did you see my list of what I'm going to work on?
No,
I sent it to you the other day.
you sent me a list of things you're going. Okay, maybe
Yeah,
I did.
so I sat. This was the work I did on this painting this weekend. Is I just sat and looked at it for like close to an hour, and just thought about what I wanted to do because it's been so long since I worked on it.
Yes, it's so wonderful, Janet. The legs are so great right now, and I love how you've got the glove of the hand kind of disappearing into the design on the blanket. It's really compelling.
A really slight shadow.
No,
here,
don't mess with it. Leave it. Just leave
like
it.
on the dress.
Leave it. I like the slight shadow on the dress. I think the dress is maybe a little bit on the dress, but don't muck with the hand.
You
So don't
think
muck
I
with the.
put a little shadow on that hand, just sort of.
No, no, no. I like how it's no. So this is way closer to finished. Put her hair in, and then we'll talk.
The shadow on the leg is fantastic.
Isn't
and the
it
shadow
wonderful?
of the leg is fantastic
And
too.
look at the feet, Reg. Look at the feet. I mean, look at how she's got and the sort of bottom highlights on that leg that's on our right. I mean, she's nailed it. That's why I'm like, don't muck with it too much, Janet, because you could overpaint this and then you will not get that back. There are points at which one can go too
I
far.
sent you my list. You can cross things off.
Okay. All right. You mean for just her?
Yeah, that's what I want to do to the painting.
Okay, let me take the list.
The green background is great.
Isn't that not
By the
sort
way,
of
not
that
that
pearly
one,
green?
the other one. Yeah, and that is
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out
All right,
better.
I see it. All right. Okay.
It took it to the 30s when the photo was taken.
Okay, I agree with the top one, Janet.
Mhm.
Even out the jagged shadows on the top right. I wouldn't worry about that. Number two, don't worry
I
about.
don't like the way they look.
Number three, work the pillow in the hair. That's what you're doing now. Work on the neck, ear, nose. Nope, 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 nope. Forget about the face. Just get her hair in, and we're going to talk about whether you need to do any of that. Work some light into the glove. Nope. No, actually the disappearance of the glove into that back figure on the blanket is what actually is very compelling. So leave it like that.
All right, I'm going to cross that one off.
Yeah, cross that one off. Hem of the dress, the sleeves. Don't worry about the big thing looking more like a quilt. That's not really the point here. If you've got a compelling image.
Do you think it reads though, like what this is? Like
I think it reads, and I think it makes you, oh, great, Jean. Great,
because of
great,
the
great.
pillow?
Yes, I think it does. I think I think leaving a little mystery is okay.
Yeah.
I think this is pandemic mood. Like, sure on, because this was a Zoom, there's no way you could have had this figure pose in real life.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been able to get it. This
Yeah,
is a Zoom. This is somebody who took a camera for Zoom and put it above on her ceiling and then laid below it on her bed. And it's weird. And that's what's kind of awesome about it is it's like, you know, you spend time, you don't have to answer every question in a drawing or a painting. Sometimes it's good.
This is where I'm struggling with Ricky because like I showed him this painting.
Mm-hmm.
He's a realist, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you know, I think you have drawing problems here. Like he didn't like the legs. And I'm like, I kind of love the legs.
I love the legs. Listen, I know what you're trying to
look like they look in the picture. I want them to look like a painting. I want it to be
yes. So
wrapped, not
that Ricky, he's such an asshole.
so like that's one of the reasons I haven't been sending him a lot of paintings. I feel like my lesson from this guy is drawing.
Yeah, your lesson, and he is right. You can work on your drawing. You are at like year 4 of the drawing process. There is more to get. in drawing, right? You will become a better drawer as you continue to practice and as you continue to apply. But you also,
it's the same as what I want to do with the people.
that's exactly right. And the most important point with all of this is that the technique, when you're learning technique and materials and all of that stuff, the best thing you can do is paint like you, right? Like you can't paint, you can't paint like, we don't want you to paint like Ricky.
Well, I don't want to paint like Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky may want you to paint a little bit like Ricky. Like, but you don't want to paint like Ricky. You're lucky if you can paint like Janet.
Yeah.
Like that's what you know, that's what we want. We want you to paint like Janet. And that is, so that to me, that is the purpose of learning materials. And of course, it always helps to draw, to get your drawing better, because you won't be able to, you know, you'll be able to achieve more if you can draw. But you don't, I don't know, to me, I don't see the problems that he sees, and I think the legs are fantastic. I love them. They're very
I think
loose.
the lesson is that you should not have cheated on Leah with somebody else.
Yeah.
That's the real lesson
I'm
here.
the better teacher. It is interesting
Leah
though.
pushed me out the door. She was like, yeah, you're ready.
You've learned a lot from Ricky. He's actually taught you a lot. I'm really
My drawing has like
exploded, right?
so much better. Yeah, it's totally exploded under him.
Yeah, yeah. It's really great.
What he's teaching me is how to have an eye,
Yeah.
and how to. I think that's what my drawing has really been lacking, is an eye that's accurately.
Yeah, I mean, that's drawing. That's learning to draw. It's learning to see, really,
Yeah.
like what's happening, right?
And I'm
It's learning to
finally
see.
starting to see. I'm finally getting there. Like.
Yeah. And
So-
you're there at the time it takes to do this. This does not happen overnight. I could not draw at all when I first started painting. I was strangely able to paint a lot better than I could draw, actually. If I could break things into little shapes, I could do it, but I had to learn how to draw. If I have to learn how to draw, everybody else does too. That's like, it was not my favorite thing. And now I think it's great because I can see the connection between drawing with paint and drawing with a pencil and drawing with pastel and drawing with charcoal and drawing with all those different things. I can see all that now in a way that I did not before. So as you just sort of go along, I mean, look at how Reg is like morphing his work with a new medium. You know, it is like, it's really fun to watch it happen. Right? So the new medium, and look at how Diana is doing what she does with color and the pencil. So it's very interesting to see how everybody takes the techniques and goes with them in whatever way they do.
So I'm just going to change the subject for a moment and tell everyone that they should watch, although this is not necessarily everyone's taste and has nothing to do with art. Everyone should watch I May Destroy You. I don't know if you
really?
guys have seen this.
I heard it's really good.
Is it
It's
a
amazing.
Netflix? Is it a Netflix thing?
It's on
or?
HBO, which you can get through Amazon Prime if you have that.
Okay. I
It's
Will Destroy You.
It's written and acted by this Black female comedian from the UK, and it's 12. I
Is it
won't
Michaela
give.
Cole?
Yeah, and I
She has the
won't
most
give away
amazing
too much
face.
about
That's
it.
a face we should do.
Yes, that's true. She does have a great face.
Ooh.
I will destroy you.
And it's all about. It sounds grim, but she's a comedian, and it's actually a very nice tale. But it explores all of the ideas about consent in this day and age, and so, you know, there's some you know, not bad parts. There's some parts that are more painful than others, but it really kind of looks at relationships and what you have to tell people and so on. And there are no clear black, well, there are some black people, there are some people bad in there, but it's very nuanced and really interesting. It prompts all kinds of interest. Anybody who's got a kid who's anything older than like 15 years old should make their kids watch this.
Wow. I'm in. That sounds fascinating. Okay. I'm just finishing watching the Expanse series.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Have you guys seen it? Has anybody sci-fi
I
here?
stopped on season 3, I think.
The what series?
Expanse. Here, hold on.
No idea
One
what
of the most realistic science fiction series around.
It's beautiful. Boy, like if you want to talk about visuals, what you could just sit and watch it for how they portray space.
Yeah.
It's actually unbelievably beautiful. I got hooked on this book series first, so I'm listening to the series now, and then I find that like actually the storytelling's pretty convoluted if you don't have a handle on it, but wow, is it great. And I love it that like none of the people were really stars before. It's kind of it's Canada's, except for the Iranian lady.
Oh yeah.
Where's Abasarala, who plays Abasarala. In
It's a
season
good
4,
series.
it is. I really quite enjoyed it. It was fun. In season 4, she tells one of the main characters, please don't put your dick in it. It is already fucked enough.
I love British television.
Yeah, it's Canadian. But yes.
It's almost the same. They were a colony.
I love non-idiot television.
And of course, the other thing everyone has to do is get Disney Plus and watch Hamilton. Right,
Yeah.
Jean?
yes.
No, I've only watched
Is there not a time limit on it? You can watch it whenever you want.
It's fabulous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so amazing.
it is. I've watched it like, I watched it on stage. I've now watched it like 4 times again. I was going to cancel my Disney Plus, but I'm just watching it again and
So
again.
do you cry when it at the end?
Of course.
Every time.
Every time.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
If you like My Killer Cole,
Theater
Reg,
for-
you should watch Black Earth Rising. It's really
Oh,
tough.
yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Black Earth Rising, it's about the Rwanda genocide, except it's contemporary and how they're handling it now. It's really amazing. And she's so good at it.
She is. I want to find
Bubblegum's good at bubblegum.
No. Where do you get it?
I think it's Netflix. Is it
Really?
Netflix?
I looked the
Oh,
other
maybe it's not there anymore. I saw that, it was probably last year or the year before.
Oh, has everybody seen Nanette and Douglas?
Oh, yeah.
What's Douglas?
Hannah Gadsby.
So Hannah Gadsby is an
Oh my God.
astounding
Love her so much.
Australian autistic stand-up comic who Nanette is fantastic. It's really painful to watch and basically said it's going to be the last thing, but it's incredibly funny and painful and everything all at the same time.
It's
And
so
Douglas, sorry?
It's so smart.
Yeah, no, she's a genius. And then Douglas is like the most well-constructed piece of comedy I've ever seen in my life, where she goes in and she tells you, this is what I'm going to do. And she spends the first 10 minutes saying, this is how the show's going to unfold. And you think like, oh, come on. And then it unfolds exactly the way she told you it would. And it's hilarious, even though you know it's coming.
I love it. All right, I'm writing them down. Douglas.
You have to watch Nanette. You have to watch Nanette before you watch Douglas.
Nanette.
Yes.
Okay, Nanette and then Douglas. And I will destroy you. I'm in.
I may destroy you.
I may destroy you. Well, that's way more polite.
Yes.
I wrote down Will too. That's what I did.
Right. I may destroy you.
Yay, destroy you.
Don't forget, guys, we have a deadline next week. Diana and Janet have gotten their, Janet's working on hers now.
I have some that just don't fit.
Just send it in just send it under pandemic mood. That's anything.
Okay.
Just send your best work. Send the stuff that you love the best.
Then Leah will tell you to send something.
Now,
Well, you did not send me your best work the first time. I'm sorry. I don't know what that was, but that was not your best work.
Ouch. That's like
No, she just sent me like her most immediate drawings, which were great. But like Janet's done some incredible paintings. She didn't send me any paintings. And I was like, no, you are going to go back and you're going to look at your paintings. And she just sent me like her latest figure drawing.
I love all my babies.
I know. They are all wonderful. There's nothing wrong with those drawings, but you're a painter, and that's what I need to see.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm done with Einstein.
Send him over.
All right,
I hope you put this one up because this is really great.
Yeah. I just sent it, but now I'm sending another. I just made some more perfections.
I should wait to glaze this pillow though, right? Leah, it's very wet.
Yeah. Wait to glaze it.
Okay, look
at Jean, this is the best drawing you've done for class, honestly. It's really great.
I think I got the eyes. I think I got them.
I think you got the eyes. I think you got the nose. I like you got the mustache and the how it kind of drifts.
I love that.
It's really wonderful. Nice. It's really wonderful. It is full of character. It's like totally recognizable for who it is, right?
Yeah.
Now it is not exactly the model that we have in front of us. You don't exactly have him turned, but
and his eyes are a little too young and wide awake. But
I don't know. His eyes are young if you look at them.
Okay.
Yep. Anyway, great, but it is definitely him, and I just love it's great. It's great. Bravo.
Thank you.
Okay, you have now graduated out of faces. We'll go on to
Now I can do
going on to watercolor. I'm trying to think of the best way to start. We might just do something simple like I think a still life, like maybe lemons or something like that. Like I did that once. It turned out really well. Anyway, I'll think about it. I'll give you some stuff some ways to do it.
I did a paint night with a friend. She does watercolors, and I was like, I'm gonna start watercolor this week, and now I'm like, no, I'm still doing faces.
I'm doing faces. But aren't you glad you did? Because this was your best face yet. That's what I was feeling. I was feeling like, wait, I want us to cap this off. I mean, unless you're going to go back and look at all of the lessons that are online. By the way, there are a lot of people looking at the lessons online.
Really?
I'm pleased about that. Yeah, people are going back. They're reviewing.
Are they listening to us talk?
Yeah, they probably are.
That's the most.
It's funny. I got a note from. It's so funny. I got.
Works ready for HR, Reg.
Yeah. I'm very. I don't post anything if there's anything bad. I am very good with this, but it was really cute. I did get a note from Claudia Aubert, who is with the LA Press Club but lives in Paris, and Claudia wrote. She sent me a note the other day saying. She hasn't been in class for about a month, and she's a real addicted drawer. And so she wrote to say, Leah, I'm coming back to class, I promise. And I heard you and Diana talking about me not being in class. So I'm going to recording.
Oh no!
I was like, Diana, do you know where Claudia is? And you were like, I don't know. I think maybe, and then we were like, maybe she went home to Germany where they don't have great internet or something like that. So
I mean, all those horrible things I've said about Reg after he leaves early.
Oh yeah, I got that list.
So Leah, Claudia got a new job. She got a job as a producer for German television. So
That's
really,
great. In Paris? She'll be in Paris, right?
yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, good for her. That just seems like that's been a really great move for her.
Yep. Not for me though. I needed her help.
Oh, was she helping you?
She was my assistant.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
Oh, Rich, that's great.
Isn't that,
Yeah.
She's
did you
so
send
cute.
it? Isn't that turning out great?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh yeah, you got it, Reg. That's it. That's it.
And I got to
Yep.
do the other
Wait,
kid.
Diana, these are both great too.
Oh, you have to do the other kid now?
I have to
Oh,
do the other. Well, you know, they're gonna fight.
right. These are great, Reg. They'll put them up and be so happy. And you know, it's funny because the kids are going to grow up, but you'll have this. That's the thing about a painting,
Yes.
right? It freezes a moment in time. It like slows time. That's the only thing really that slows time is art. It captures a moment. I've been looking at this painter, this French cityscape painter named Luigi Loire. He is completely inspiring me in my new artist series. And he died in 1914. So the city he paints is completely different than the city that I'm painting.
Mm.
And somehow his use of color and the way he does brights out of these sort of, there's like all these neutral grays in his paintings, and then he has these bright lights in certain areas, and it just is stunning. It pops. And I was thinking about how I'm looking at them and they feel so contemporary to me, even though, you know, these are turn of the last century cities. Very interesting how that can happen, how you can make a scene live.
Leah, the landscape I've been working on,
Yes.
that I sent you on Monday night, it looks so much better in the daylight. I was so unhappy with it. And then I came in the morning and went, wow.
Oh, that's so much better. It helps to get away from things.
Yeah, I still have a lot of work to do on it.
Yeah. But not probably as much as you think. I think what we get to is this point where we get like, okay, we work and then we're tired of looking at something. So we put it away, and then we don't really know how we feel about it until we look at it later. You don't really know.
Right. But at night, my light is not good in here, but in the daylight,
it's much better.
The church and the landscape really, like, the light was really good. And I was like, oh, okay. It doesn't look like a constable, but hey,
Yeah.
It's an English countryside.
It's an English countryside.
So Leah, did you say are we gonna do Inktober?
Yes, we'll definitely do Inktober. So we'll do a couple of watercolor sessions, then we'll go to Inktober, then we'll go back to watercolor. How's that sound? Watercolor and ink are so similar.
I know, but I kind of feel like I want to do that really like an ink a day. I want to try maybe at least.
Right, I was gonna set something up. Let me see if I can set something up like on my, where will I do that? Let me look at my website. I'm setting up the website for our show right now. So
Right.
I love that idea. That's a great idea. Maybe I can, there's
But
just
if
a
we could just post things,
yeah, if I can create something that people can post on, I don't know if I can do that, but I'll see. Let me see if I can do that.
Make a list of ideas and make it like a challenge, you know, like
yeah.
Yeah.
today is X.
Well,
'Cause
I'm sort of starting the process of, in fact, I'm going to do it right after. I'm going to start exploring creating the gallery for our student show page. So I'm looking at different templates and trying to figure out how I want that to look. So, and with room for video and other things. I also have to get my site ready for Portland Open Studios, which will be virtual this
We
year.
can
Just
just hear a
for
word
the-
of what you're saying.
Yeah, there's something wrong with my internet.
Yeah.
Anyways,
fine.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Okay. Because I have a friend who, she only does equine art. I mean, that's pretty much all she does is horses. And, you know, she's a real artist. But Inktober, like, man, that woman just kicks things out. Like almost every day she has a new horse done in ink. It's amazing.
I bet she sells every single one of them too.
Probably.
People love their horses, even more than other pets. Like people will pay. Do you guys know the author Maggie Stiefvater? She's a YA author, so you may not have run into her, but she's like a New York Times best-selling. She's written like, I don't know, 20 books. She pumps out a novel a year. She came to Portland to, she lives in like Kentucky, but she came to Portland and took a class at my studio about a year ago when she was on a book tour for one of her current books. And she's an amazing artist as well as a writer. And she said, yep, when she was in Kentucky, like in grad school, she started in college for writing. She supported herself by painting people's horses. She said people would like pay for their horse, you know, portrait of their horse before, like a big one. Like people want the pet portraits, like Janet, that pet portrait you just did of that dog.
Oh, it was fantastic. I
The
loved it.
doodle, and then with the dog reacting to it the way it did, amazing. But you know, there's a limit to what people will pay, but people will pay a lot of money to have their horses painted.
Well, because people with horses can afford it.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Sometimes they can and sometimes they can't. Sometimes they've got the horses and
Well, Woody Johnson, who just got in trouble for trying to help Trump out. Right now he's the ambassador to London, and he tried to help Trump move some golf tournament to his golf place in Scotland. Anyway, I used to work for him 100 years ago, and his first wife was this horrible woman, and she had her horses, and this was before the Olympics in Atlanta, and you could pay money and have a brick in the patio for the big area where eventually the bombs went off in the Atlanta Olympics, the main patio area, and you could, if you paid a certain amount, you could put a name on them. So she had 3 kids and she got 3 bricks, and I was like, oh, that's so nice. She's naming them after the kids. Nope, she named them after her horses.
yes.
I was like,
Yep.
oh my God, you're the worst person in the world.
She is the worst person in the world, except to the horse.
Oh.
Yes. Horses.
And her children are in therapy.
Well, it's worse than that. 2 of them are okay, and one killed herself rather dramatically. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad, but bad parenting.
All right. On that note, I'm going to go make dinner.
Yes. It's time for me to go
Don't
and
love
try
your
and make a
horses more than
gallery.
you do.
All right, everybody, let's see what you've done. Let me stop the share so we can sort of hold up where we're at. Let's go into gallery view so we can see everybody. Ah, that looks so great. Guys, great work. Turn it around, Janet. Let's see. Yay! Oh my God.
Ah,
Yes. Look at you.
Oh, that's great.
my talented students. Oh my
I love that
You,
drawing.
you say that to every class.
I don't. All right, you guys. I will see you all. I'll see you all. Well, if anybody wants to come into class tomorrow, that'll be 11, at 8:30 for Diana, you and me, 11:30 for you guys. If you can slip out for a quick lunch break, we'll be drawing. I think we're going to do 2 pictures because it's going to be quick. The request was to draw my new kitten. So I have
What's your request?
in ink and then in charcoal.
I hope you've taken a picture because she will not hold still.
I know. Yes, totally. Oh yeah, absolutely. That little guy is insane. So, yep. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. And the
All right.
recording will be up in a couple of hours.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.